If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You wanted more, didn't you? I wanted more. I just wanted to get us back a little energized. You have to take a break without having to break. All right, so today we are going to talk about becoming a distinguished area. Has anyone ever heard about that? Anybody familiar with that? All right, so that's our topic. But I needed some help with this. And I asked just a couple people if they would help. And two of them just said yes. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't really say, what was it? They just said yes. My first victim is Norma Kraft. So Norma, just hang out here with me for a second. And my second victim was even texting me up until the last moment. I'm here. Toastmaster Bobby Blackman, please spotlight him on the screen. So they just said yes. Now, Norma,
Yes,
how long have you been a Toastmaster and how many times as an area director?
I have been a Toastmaster since 2014, so do the math. I have been area director. I started out as a filling in for somebody. So my first 6 months as an area director, I had no clue what was going on. I just went along, and when I had questions, I asked questions. Otherwise, I just pretended I knew what I was doing. I did really well, actually. Some of the clothes were struggling, and I brought them up too. We were extinguished. Oh, we were extinguished. We were distinguished that year, actually. So a total of 4 times.
How many times?
4 times I have been an area director.
Did everybody hear that? Not once, twice, 3 times, but
4
4 times.
And
Thank
twice division.
And twice division. Hang up with me.
I will.
Now, Bobby, how many times have you been an area director?
Twice. I am on my second go around as area director.
He came back. Thank you, Bobby. Stay with us. Now, I need a volunteer. Any area director, I need a volunteer. Anybody want to volunteer?
Felicia.
All right, Delisa. She raised her hand. Come join us, Delisa. Thank you. And just tell us how long a Toastmaster and how many times as the area director.
Sure, I've been a Toastmaster for 4 years, and this is my first go around as an area director.
And did you volunteer to be an area director? Did someone ask you? Did you?
Paula reached out to me and we talked about it and I agreed to do it.
Okay, so she volunteered. Awesome. Hang out here with Norma and I. Thank you, Delisa. Now, on the tables, there was a coin. Only one person had a coin under their bag. Who had that coin?
Must be on the empty chair.
Only one person had a coin under their bag.
Oh, we didn't get one.
Get to it. Somebody had it. Who had a coin under their bag? They look guilty. Well, no, this was a special coin. Come on, who had it? Donald Tolson. Donald Tolson has been voluntold to be on our panel. All right, come on, Donald. You are not afraid to speak. Donald. Donald, it has come to my attention that you would be a great area director. Do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you. This is mine though. So thank you, Donald. Stay up here for our panel. So what I wanted to show you is that as an area director, some of you come willingly and ready. You want to do this, you've known you want to do it, and you are here. That is Norma and Bobby. No questions asked. Yes. Then we have those who are curious, or maybe someone has just nudged them and they said, yes, Delisa, thank you. And some of you were dragged up here because somebody put a golden coin under your seat and said, you are the one. So I know that is some of you. And I thank you for accepting that call, because sometimes I don't call it voluntold, I call it opportunity happens. Right, it happens. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about being an area director and setting some goals for yourself. So I want you to think about some of these questions. Some of them our panelists are going to be encouraged to respond to. Think about why you became an area director. Because I was asked to. Think about what impact you can have as an area director, and just think about it. What impact can you have? Think about how long this impact can last on the people around you. These are all things I want you to think about. As you venture into your area director year, right? And Donald, you've been an area director, you moved up, thank you. I want you to think from the division point of view, how you're going to help everyone. As an area director, you need to set some goals. Let's start with the first goal. What do you want to get out of this experience? Is it just because I don't have anything else to do? And hey, this fills up 5 hours a week. Yeah. Why are you here? Why? Think about it, right? Which panelist wants to answer that question? What is the goal that you set for this year? Norma.
So my goal is really not just for this year. My goal is just to inspire people. And what better way to inspire people than to get involved and be part of everything? I'm a social butterfly. Just call me, I'll be there.
All right, next question. You set a goal for yourself. I want you to keep thinking about that. What goal have you set for your clubs? And it doesn't have to be all 4 or 5 clubs. Pick one club in your mind. What goal have you personally just set for that club? You really want to see them reach this level. Any panelist who wants to answer that question? Don. And this could be an area director, club, you.
Thank you. I believe that the thing is that we all want to have our clubs distinguished. And because that is one of the reasons that we're here is to help to advance clubs. So I would love, what I'm doing is taking those struggling clubs, those clubs that are barely hanging on, it can be hybrid or in person, and helping them to set goals, helping them to seek out that club coach, in order to get them up to where they should be.
He said a key point, he set a goal, he saw a need, clubs that are struggling. Sometimes there's a need that triggers the goal. His goal is to help them. What is most important that I heard is he had a way to help them. Give them a club coach. Suggest a club coach. Sometimes when you have goals, it's not the goal that moves you. It's the steps to the goal. I want to get over there to Paula. I want to get over there to Paula. I want to get over to Paula. Guess what? It doesn't work unless I take a step. If I want to get to Paula, how do I get there? Someone tell me how I get to Paula. I heard make a step. What else?
One step at a time.
One step at a time. How do I get to Paula? Okay, ask Paula to meet me halfway. Run to Paula. How do I get to Paula? We are Toastmasters. In order to help people get to their goals, you have to be more precise. Felicia, we learned how to walk. As a youngster, you're still able to walk. I need you to take one foot and move it forward and bring the next one with you. Felicia, you have to do this 8 or 9 times to get to Paula. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at Paula, right? Yes. I'm bringing this up because sometimes, I want everybody to hear me. Sometimes you have to give more details. You have to make sure people understand how to get there. It's easy for me to say, yes, as an area director, you should be distinguished. Call me in June. Let me know how you did. Okay. What's one of the first questions you have about that process? What do I need to get there? Delisa, join me for a moment. Now, this is our newest area director. She's never done it again, but she jumped right in there. Do you know how to become distinguished area?
Well, I'm familiar with the process, and I think a great way to start would probably be your area success plan.
Okay. Did anybody know about an area? She impressed me, you all. She knows one of the steps. Do you remember any of the other steps?
I would love to hear more about those other.
I appreciate that because sometimes we need to ask them if they need more, if they know the next step. Don't skip steps because you've done it before or you haven't done it before. Make sure they know all the steps they need. And sometimes you have to give them those steps over and over again. And you have to give it to them in small portions. Now, do keep in mind, people learn differently. So there are some, I think they call them A types that are very detailed, precise. They need it all now, they'll figure out, right? Anybody in here, just give it to me all right now and I'll get it done myself. Is there anybody willing to confess, right? I see one in the middle. How many people need a little bit? They need to go do it and practice it, and they need a little bit more, do it and practice it. Any of those type of people here? None? Well, what kind of people are you? I need to know more about who you are, so I can give it to you the way you need. Keep in touch with people. So I'm gonna give you a couple steps to get to area success, distinguished. Now, if you don't reach distinguished, we still love you. We still appreciate everything you do. If you don't make it this year, we're going to treat you like Bobby and Norma and invite you to do it again. So one of the first steps is that you have to complete, oh, thank you, I don't need that. Okay. You have to complete one of your area director reports. Is that right? You have to finish two?
No,
3,
4.
4.
75%.
75%.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm just going to acknowledge Bobby because he's on the panel. Thank you, Debbie. You have to complete. Thank you, Bobby. See, that's why Bobby is doing this again, because he knows. You have to complete 75% of your area visits, and you have to get the report in. So if you have 4 clubs, how many do you absolutely need? 3. If you have 5, how many do you need? You have to round up. You need 4. You have to round up. Now, when I reach out to you, I am going to say, it would be so nice if you had 100%. And that is for your own success. But Toastmasters knows that there may be one club you just did not get to. They give you a little grace, but we are pushing for 100. All right, yes, thank you. And some of you are already there. You have already completed the first part. Now, the second part is you have to have no net loss. And this is the part right now that is really challenging us all. We can't lose a club in your area. But some of you have already written in your area reports this, let me read, wait. Somebody wrote a brilliant explanation of what is going on with their club. They said, difficult to contact. Somebody put, where's the one I wanted? This club has positioned themselves as an island. Thank you. I actually started to read the visit reports. I took a couple of notes. And that tells me that that club does not want to stay connected, or it's hard to get in touch with them, or there's something going on. Whoever wrote that, thank you. I won't reveal you, but the truth is what we want. And we want it to be in an evaluative state, okay? So we're gonna make sure that what we put on the area director reports helps us all. We want to use the concept of evaluation, put it in a tone that will encourage the reader. You want to always encourage the reader, but also state the truth, because they do read these reports. So we want them to read it and go, there's opportunity for us to get better, to really connect. So keep that in mind that you want to finish these reports and no net loss. How many of you, area directors, have an area that has lost a club? You think it's just going down? You have a couple here. Anybody online, just raise your hands. Okay, so I see some of you already feel this. What can you do to help bridge the gap? I'm going to give you a couple steps. One, make a list of those clubs. Put them somewhere on a chart listed. Put it up. Keep your focus on them. Two, reach out to me. Felicia, this club is having troubles. They only have 6 members and they need 2 more. Let us know. What I'm going to do is tell you a couple steps. Have them reach out to club coach. Nancy Wilkins is looking for coaches and looking for clubs. You have to give them the steps to potentially stay in the game. I want to get to Paula. We want to get those clubs over to Paula one step at a time. You're going to give them resources. Open houses, we reimburse. If they advertise the open house, if they invite people, encourage them to come, we'll help them with up to $25 of expenses. That's how they can recruit members. Who knows what helping hands is? If you want to sit down and take notes, I'll release you. Sometimes she's thinking, I want to write some of this down. I will hold you off because you've been through the process. Thank you. Anybody know what helping hands is? It probably is somewhere, but helping hands in District 84. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you. It's an incentive. If a current club that's doing well goes over to help a club that's struggling, they're going to send 2 or 3 members over to their meetings for a few months and just be there, fill rows, really enhance that meeting. So when a visitor comes, they have a demonstration that's strong. Helping hands. One club can go help another club. Isn't that ingenious? Yeah. And the club that went to help gets star points. They'll be able to buy things from the store, right? Once we get it all set up, that's how they'll get points. But what it's doing is creating that connection community. So if you have a strong club in your area, you might want to connect them with the struggling club, especially if there's 6, 7, 8 members. All they need is a couple new faces, open house, helping hands, and invitations. Those are things you can start with. Some of you said in your area director reports, we need more visits from leadership by Zoom. I thought, wow, Paula and Vicky, get ready. I'm gonna send the list out. You have spoken. What that is saying, division directors, is that they want to see other people at their meetings, just drop-bys, hi. We're going to start doing that. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. We may come by the meeting and we may spend the first 10 minutes there. We'll stop in and tell you greetings from District 84. And sometimes we may have to leave and go to the next one. We all have to be honest. We want to try to get to as many as we can, but sometimes we have to do a drive-by. We have to greet them, let them know we care, we're concerned, we want to be there. And sometimes we'll go, I'm staying for the whole meeting. Sometimes when you go to an area director, as an area director, when you get to the meeting, this is a question for Bobby. Bobby, do you go to a meeting without a speech in your pocket?
No.
No. Now, Bobby may have more levels finished than Becky. There's the competition here, but Bobby is always ready. Any club he goes to, he can do something. He can give a speech, he can fill in table topics, he can be, you don't want him to be the grammarian because he will get you. But he'll be the grammarian, he listens really well. He said, no, go to the meeting ready. If you are working on your pathways, you're busy, you're going to meetings, I'm at a meeting for an hour, can I give a speech? Yes, use that time wisely. Are you going to give any old speech? What kind of speech are you going to give? Thank you. They heard you, Becky. Do not give a speech at a club if it's not pathways. How do you do that? Bobby, how do you keep track? Give us a little bit about how you are ready for a pathway speech every meeting you go to. How do you do that?
Well, Pretty much the easiest way to do it is whenever you finish, well, what I do is I look at every single level within the path and I go ahead and look at the different projects, see which one would I like to do a speech on, which ones do I want to tackle first, which ones do I want to hold in reserve for when I'm visiting or I'm in my own clubs. And they say, well, we need a second speech or speech. Does anyone have one, a pocket speech? I don't want to just have a pocket speech. I want to have a pathway speech, especially if I'm visiting, because it's my job to perpetuate or, you know, push, encourage, whatever word you want to use, being on pathways and doing pathway speeches. So I try to at least always have 2 speeches ready to go. And as well as the basic information, even if I haven't written the introduction down.
Perfect. Thank you, Bobby. And we're going to applaud that because first of all, that's a commitment to pathways. He takes his time. He starts to navigate through the pathways. Some of the speeches he keeps ready for when he goes to visit. Those storytelling, elective options, right? There's a few that cater themselves to being in different environments. Bobby, thank you for that. So as you think about being distinguished, I've given you 2 things to start with. There's a few more items, right? So I want to make sure that we go through. Just as with the club distinguished program, there's different levels. If you have a goal to reach distinguished, check out the 3 levels and set a target for where you might want to be. Now I'm looking at Donald because Donald is now going to start strategizing with his team. Dwight is going to strategize with his team. You don't have to do this alone. There was one area director that I had last year. I can't remember, maybe December, I said to her, you have a chance to be distinguished. Are you interested? And she kind of says, I don't know. I said, okay. Let a month or so go. I says, you still have an opportunity to be distinguished. Do you have an interest? She still didn't know. But what I knew is that she was still working on them clubs. She was still working to get them back in motion, keep them going. Honestly, it slipped up and she ended up being distinguished. I called her, I said, did you know that? She says, no, I didn't. You want to know why? Because she had her clubs in mind. She didn't have distinguished in mind. I had distinguished, Donna, we want to see that, but she didn't. She just had her clubs in mind. Keep your clubs in mind first. Distinguish will start to happen if your clubs are in your mind. So to be just distinguished, you do have to have 50% of your clubs as distinguished. Donald.
Yes.
What's one of the things a club has to do to be distinguished? Tell us just 1 or 2 of those little, how do they get you distinguished? Do you remember? Okay, see.
Well, you know, first of all, I believe when you look at those DCP points, you know, where you need to go, you need to know where you are in order to know where you need to go. So you would look at those clubs, you would see where they are, and you will encourage them. Also, you would, being the Division E director, I notify my area directors, hey, they're very close. You know, let's go on to the DCP you know, website. Let's find out what they need to do. What's coming up next? Because a lot of times you could be right at the door and not even know that you only need that one more to get you there. So it's knowing where you are and knowing where you need to go.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
He said the magic word. DCP. When is the last time you looked at your dashboard? Who looked at the dashboard last week? Anybody look at it last week? All right, who looked at it yesterday? Anybody look at it yesterday? This morning, we have some this mornings. How often should you look at your dashboard, your DCP? Okay, Norma says every day. Norma is a diehard Toastmaster. And I'll thank you, Norma. Can I give you my list of clubs to check when you go in? You may not look at it every day, but set some checkpoints. Once a week, every 2 weeks, check in, see where your clubs are. Absolutely check in before club visit. How many people check it before they go visit the club? Okay, good. If you don't, that's okay. This is just your checkpoint to start. The nice thing about Toastmasters is you're gonna mess up. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to miss deadlines. You are going to miss something, but we're here to help you recover and keep on track. That's what we do for you. So if you don't know what the dashboard is, call your area director, call your co-area director, call your division director and set up a one-on-one Zoom. If you don't know how to get on the dashboard, you and your division director spend some time. That's how you'll get to evaluate where your clubs are. You'll get to see if they finished any levels and pathways. Have they added new members? Did they go to training? Those are things that help create a healthy club. And that gives you points to talk to them about. Other things, select distinguish, 50% that are distinguished plus one more. So if you have 5 clubs, what's 50% of that? 2.5. 2.5, right? We round up 3 plus 1. So you need to get 4 of them in there. So you have to push for that. And then President's Distinguished Area, 50% plus 1, and a net growth of 1. And guess who you are going to talk to when you are ready to start a new club in your area? Does anybody know who to call? Well, well, I would love to get all your calls, but I don't have to. Norma's gonna come up here, right? So we have teams because one person can't support the 20 clubs we may want to start this year. So Norma Crest, wave to the camera. She's the greatest person. She's friendly. She is going to help us get new clubs started. Before you leave today, every division director will have a new club packet. We need that club packet close to you. When we call and say there's a new potential club, can you drop off that packet? You're helping to get it in motion. You also can give it to an area director who's ready. So all the clubs we start, guess where they go? They go into your area. We don't keep them. No, we don't. They get assigned to your area. So we may call you to say, we have a demo, come help us get this new club in motion. That's going to help you reach your distinguished area goals. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about anything, reach out to us. Have one last question. How many in percentage area visit reports are done as of last night? What's the percentage? Guess. How many area director visit reports? So I got a 50%, 60%, 75. Anybody online? How many you think are complete in percentage? 85%. So we're gonna tell you the truth. Last night, when I was on the dashboard, 49% of area visits are done. Clap, give yourself a hand. That means we only have a little over halfway to go. You have until when to get your visits in? November 30th. Yeah, November 30th. So what does that mean? Some of you have not done one visit, and that is okay. Guess what? You have 4 good weeks. Visit a club every week, finish that report, and you are done. You have 4 good weeks. No stress. You don't know what to do, call your division director, call me, call Paula, call Vicky. We are here to make you successful, and we will help you in any way we can. So plan it out, finish your visits. Otherwise, you're going to get a call on November 15th from Felicia, and I will call your direct phone number and say, hey, have you done your visit? Do you need help typing it in? What can I do for you to get you there? So we are going to reach out, but we do need you to get started. My time is up. I thank my panelists, those that were voluntold. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Felicia. We appreciate you, and I welcome back our district director.